good morning, family. I have a special treat for you today. I am so happy about it because it is a testimony that I wanted to share with you for a while. And I was like, in my whole, should I, shouldn't I not, should I? But guess what? I decided it is 1 o'clock in the morning and I decided to come and share it with you this morning. So I hope that you enjoy this testimony because it's a testimony where I almost died. Within a day, as the doctor said, I would have been dead. So let's get started with this testimony. But if you are here for the first time, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. And as I always say, thank you so much for stopping by. So I hope that this testimony be a blessing to you out there, because looking through the years, it has allowed me to realize why I have a job to do and I have to get up and do this job regardless to what anybody have to say. We have to get up and do the job that the Heavenly Father has called us to do. So hence, that's why I do everything that I do to help y'all with the health-wise, because we have to take care of our health too. We can't expect anybody else to do it for us. And we also have to take care of our mind, not only mentally, but spiritually and everything as well. So this testimony that I am going to share with you, I hope that you enjoy it. So let's get started. And as you see, I'm in my testimony chair. And today I am not having any tea, but I am having some hibiscus juice, and this is hibiscus clove, calendula, and something else is in there, but this is what I'm having today. I'm having a cold drink today because whenever I use my tea, it is always very cold. It gets very cold. So to avoid that, this is already cold. And this is Tea, Talk, and Testimony with Danny. So enjoy. All right, so this whole thing, let me get comfortable. This whole thing started when I was probably in my 30s, because that was about 31 years ago or something like that. So it started when I was in my 30s. And I went to work like normal. But let me go a little back so that you would understand. A few months before that, I was told that I had an ovarian cyst and I need to get it removed. Okay? So I said, okay. But go a little further back. Before that, I was told that I had this ovarian cyst and I needed to get it removed. I would have shared this testimony with y'all before of my healing from that. And what I will do is list that. If I can remember what video it is, I'm not sure if it's on Facebook or if it is YouTube, but I'm going to list it in the description box for you. So and another thing, if you wanted to jump ahead at any time, I'm going to list some timestamps in the testimony for you as well. And I decided to let the doctor do that operation. And little did I know that months later, it would have almost cost me my life. So that is why I do all of what I do, in showing you how I make my stuff and why I became a herbalist, a self-taught herbalist. Also did a course in herbalism, but hence all of this is why I am doing what I am doing. And when I look around at my life, so much of my family members are gone, and I just felt that if we knew what to use or what to deal with and all of that there, we would not be suffering so much, ailing so much in our bodies. So I don't want to get sidetracked or anything like that. So let's continue. And it was a normal day, months later after the first operation. And I went to work and came back home like normal, felt nothing. And then by the nighttime, I started to get some really serious pains in my abdomen area. And I tried all of what I could try to help with these pains, and this pain just keep getting worse and worse and worse. I called my grandmother, and she told me, well, it probably is air, so try to drink some ginger tea. And I did all that, and the pain was still getting worse and worse. And then it was getting so bad that she came up to my home with me, and she stayed with me, and she tried to give me all kinds of stuff, and nothing seemed to work. So I decided, okay, well, I'm going to call that same gynecologist that did the surgery on me. And he said, okay, if the pain doesn't get any better, go to the hospital. And by 3 o'clock, the pain was no better. So he said, well, go to the hospital right now. I would meet you at the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and I was in the hospital for 2 days, and they were doing tests after tests after tests, and they couldn't figure out what was causing the pain that I was suffering with. So the pain just was getting worse and worse, so they were just giving me painkillers, and then they had me on a drip with painkillers in it, and my stomach grew large. It started to grow, and it grew large, like if I was 9 months pregnant. And they continued to do the tests and all kinds of stuff. And then by the third day, they said, well, they can't figure out what was wrong with me. So they decided that they were going to call in a surgeon. And by the third day, as I said, my stomach looked as though it wanted to explode. And I just was bearing everything, crying out to the Heavenly Father, wondering, well, what is wrong with me and everything else. But during this time I was going through all of this, I had backed away from, the closeness that I had with the Heavenly Father, because I was very strong. But because of something that had happened to me, which I might have shared before, or I might share in another testimony. I backed away from church. And on the third day, when he came then to check me out, he just checked. He came at 7 o'clock in the night, and by 8 o'clock they had me in surgery, because when he came, he looked at me and he says, we have to rush her in surgery like right now. So what they had to do was not a very pleasant thing, but they had to push some tubes down my nose into my stomach, and they attached these tubes from my nose to the machines that they needed to think. But that was the way for them to prep me for surgery, and there was no painkiller or nothing. They just give me a little bit of ice to suck, and that was very painful. So anyway, fast forward, I went to surgery, and apparently while I was in surgery, the doctor spoke to one of my sisters and asked my sisters if I wanted to keep the baby. And my sister said, well, I didn't know that she was pregnant, so I can't make that decision, because suppose she does want to keep the baby and I say, no, take it, whatever. So he went back in. He tried to obviously keep the baby, save her, because she is a woman now. But so anyway, they kept the baby, and then they did whatever they had to do in the surgery. When he had to talk to me after the surgery, and after, when they would come to do the consultation and all that, he said to me that I had adhesions. And if he didn't get me into surgery the time that he got me, within a day, I would have been dead. Because what was happening, and why my stomach was growing as large as it was growing, is because my whole body was being poisoned with the toxins. And hence, that is why you will see that when I'm doing my other things, I would stress on our liver and our kidneys and all those things so much, because those are the things that flush the toxins out of our bodies. So, excuse me. So he was explaining this thing to me, and he said it was like a rubber band. If you hold a rubber band together for long enough, it will sort of stick together. So what happened is, because of my previous operation, the doctor that did that did not put down my intestines properly, so they started to roll up in one another, and over time they were tangled up and they started to squash together, and a lot of the toxins could not be flushed the way how it could have been. And so hence he had to do whatever it is he had to do, because he was one of the best surgeons that we had on the island. And so I am grateful for him for my life. I am thankful to the Heavenly Father for preserving me and keeping me whole, keeping me safe, keeping me everything through that surgery, because whenever we go under the knife, we are between life and death, because basically we have to have faith, because we are putting our life in another person's hands. But as I would always say, the Heavenly Father is our great physician, and He is the one that will preserve us and that will keep us, because the enemy comes like an angel of light, and not only comes like an angel of light, but he comes to steal, kill, and to destroy. So his thing was to destroy any vision that the Heavenly Father has for me, and not only to steal whatever I had, and also to kill me. But he did not succeed, because we know that our Heavenly Father is stronger and mightier, and our bodies are a temple, and our bodies belong to Him. And He will guard our temples. He will send His ministering angels and His protecting angels to protect us, because we always have a hedge of protection around us. But anyway, so to continue with my testimony, so he was explaining this thing to me, and then he said also, I don't know if you were aware, but you have a baby. She was 2, almost 3 months, and because of something that happened to me previously, I didn't know that she was there and all that at the time. But because of my faith and everything, I decided to have her. And while I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks or so, and my stomach, as I said, was still very large, but I could not, my intestines wasn't working to flush all the impurities out. So what they did, they had a machine hooked up to me that was breathing, and it looked as though it was breathing, but it was pumping all the impurities out of my body. And for those of you that can't stand certain things, probably this might be the time to just walk away. But the liquid that comes out of our bodies is not a pleasant sight. It was green and everything else. Then they had a machine that was hooked up to the baby, monitoring her heartbeat, making sure that everything was still going well with her. And along with those, I think they had me hooked up to like 3 machines, and I couldn't even get much visitors, because a lot of my friends, they couldn't stand to come to visit me, because they couldn't stand to see me how I was. And hence, I am sharing this testimony, and I'm sharing all of what I'm sharing to tell y'all that we need as human beings to take care of our bodies. And hence that's why I hardly take any kind of medication. For those of you that might be taking medication and have to take medication, I'm not telling you this for you to stop taking your medication or anything. But for me, that really was an eye-opener to me, because there were so many other times that I could have been dead, but the Heavenly Father, the Most High, Yah, preserved me, and He preserved me for such a time as this, so that I can talk to my family, so that I can talk to my sweet family, and I can tell them that we are more than conquerors, and greater is He that is in us than he that is in the world. And no weapon that is formed against us shall prosper. And any tongue that rises up against us in judgment, we shall condemn. So don't let anything or anybody out there scare you. Just trust in the Most High. Trust in, trust and hang on. Have faith. Have faith in all of this, because, Father, I know that there are people out there that might be watching this right now. If you've gotten to this far, I want to thank you for sticking in there. But I know that there are people out there that might be watching this right now that might be going through a lot of what I went through 31 years ago or 30 years ago. I am here to tell you, just trust and believe. Trust in the Heavenly Father and believe. And healing belongs to us. There's so many healing scriptures in the Word that you can say. And when you say this, you get these into your spirit. And when you get these healing scriptures into your spirit, they, you begin to believe everything that you read or that you hear or whatever, and get into your spirit. And, by His stripes, you are healed. You are healed. And this is why I do all of what I do, because I spent weeks in the hospital hooked up to those machines. When I was able to come out, I made myself this promise that I wasn't letting anybody cut me ever again. I had to get 2 operations within a matter of only months. And one operation was caused by another operation. So I am here to tell you that believe that you are healed. Believe that you have the strength, because the word says without faith it is impossible to please Yah. So I am here 30 years later as a changed person. And when I tell you a changed person, I don't only mean change physically or whatever, but mentally and spiritually. Because we deal with a marine kingdom. And I did a Facebook video actually, so I'm going to probably redo it and do a YouTube video on the marine kingdom. But I did a video on the marine kingdom, and the marine kingdom is real because I come from the Caribbean. And there were a lot of questions that I had that I really needed to ask. And there were a lot of questions, a lot that the older generation couldn't answer. But I just was wondering why this or why that or why the next, because there were so much weird things that used to happen, even in my little small island, and we are surrounded by water and all those things. And not only that, but when I lived in St. Lucia, there were a lot of different stories that I heard from down there as well. But anyway, where that testimony is concerned, all I am going to say is that we need to take care of our health, because if we do not take care of our health, there's nobody that is going to take care of it for us. And a lot of the times, I believe that, and this is just my belief, I believe that we don't even need to be cut, because when you go inside there, you start raffling around inside there. Look what happened to me. It was just a simple procedure, a ovarian cyst that needed to come off. And if I had known a lot of what I know now, I would never let anybody cut me that sort of way, because now, because of that cut, I ended up having 2 surgeries, but one that I almost died within, as I said to you earlier, within 3 days. I would have been dead. That's what the surgeon said. We couldn't wait any longer. If we had waited any longer, you would be no more. And I took that to heart. I remember that over the years. And I, excuse me, seem to be wanting to lose my voice now. And I did that. So over the years, I have, tried to concentrate on taking care of the liver and the kidneys and all those things and the intestines, because those are the things that pump those impurities out of our bodies. And if y'all had seen what was coming out of inside of me when I was hardly eating, because they were feeding me through the drip that they had. And if y'all knew what was coming out of inside of me, y'all would see that we need to take care of our bodies. We need to take care of our liver and kidneys and get rid of some of those free radicals that come from our food, that are inside our food, that goes into our body, that cause all different kinds of sicknesses and everything else. And I hope that all of you enjoyed this testimony. And as I said, for those of you that were following me for a while, might have heard this testimony before, but I felt the need to share it again for the people that have never heard it. And that's why I shared it today. And I just wanted to tell y'all as well, this is why I'm so adamant and I do what I do, and why I started this YouTube channel, because I started this YouTube channel to help people in any little way that I can help them. And because of this as well, I prefer to put things on my skin that are natural and not things with a lot of chemicals and all that, because I know what I went through 30 years ago, and it was not a pleasant experience. So I just want to thank everybody for listening, because my voice seemed to want to go, and I realized I was just talking and talking. I did not even take a sip of my drink once. For those of you that have never had hibiscus juice, you need to try it. It is really, really, really good. And hibiscus has so much health benefits for your body. So you need to really take care of your bodies. So for those of you that stayed to the end and join in with me till the end, I want to thank you. My name is Annie, and if this is your first time, I hope that there is something on this channel that you would be able to watch, because this channel deals with a multitude of things, and it deals with testimonies such as tonight. I have moved a lot of my faith stuff to my faith channel, but sometimes I will still put up certain things on this channel, because this channel is the one that has more subscribers and I can get through to more people. So if you enjoyed this testimony, it would be a pleasure if you could just give me a subscribe and hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, because when you hit the like button, that's the only way that the algorithm can pick up these videos and push these videos to more people, because there are a lot of people out there that are hurting so much, and right now there are people that are hurting, and these types of videos need to get out to them, because to let them know that yes, you can go through some stuff, but you don't have to let it cause you to fall. Yes, you might stumble, but you don't have to let it cause you to fall, because we are strong, we are courageous, we have something that a lot of other people don't have, the Most High have, and that is favor, faith, and all the other things that you can think about. So I want to thank you once again for joining me, and continue to let your light shine, and blessings to all of you. Blessings to all of you out there. Be safe. And as I always say, continue to spread the love.